Hello, this is Peony22YXOX, and welcome. I'm gonna be reading scary, probably true stories about incubus and demons. First of all, happy Halloween. I hope you're having a good ass Halloween and staying safe, being protected and all. Getting some candy. Personally, to me, what's the point of trick-or-treating? I mean, all you can do is just go to the store and just buy a bag of candy and just stay home. That's just me, though. Okay, anyways, now, what is an incubus and a succubus is? Okay, an incubus is a male demon believed to have sexual intercourse with sleeping women, a cause of distress or anxiety. Okay, so that's basically what a incubus means, and bro, that's so messed up. Like, what the fuck, bro? What? I'm gonna kick your ass. Okay, sounds like some Freddy Krueger type shit. I don't even know. Okay, now what a succubus is: a demon or supernatural entity in folklore in female form that appears in dreams to seduce men, usually through sexual activity. Oh, okay, so that's that. And we're gonna be some stories about people who have experiences with those kind of entities, and trigger warning, it's very triggering. So watch with caution. It's gonna probably mention sexual abuse, rape, and etc. So you might want to watch with caution, please. This is a huge warning. Okay, so the first story we're going to be reading is romantic and sexual relationship with a spirit. And just a trigger warning. Back in the day, when I was in high school, I used to read this type of stories like all the time in general, not just on Halloween. And let's dive on in. Let me just read this because I got nothing else to say. And don't mind my reading comprehension. Okay, this is a subject I have had a very hard time communicating to others, and I have yet to find an outlet where it would be met with positive attention. I am somewhat embarrassed, but I need to get off my chest and just talk, and I need guidance from anyone who's had or heard of similar experiences. About 5 years ago, in about 2015, I had relatively limited interaction with spirits. I was deeply spiritual, not religious, and I have times where I believe I had seen ghosts, felt chills, seen figures or shadows, etc. I had been living in my own home with one sibling, a roommate, and another family member. Sadly, there was a lot of things that started happening in the home that were not very positive, and many of them I consider paranormal. We were having conflict with other family member, and once she had left us to move somewhere else, the atmosphere lifted for a couple of days, so my sibling and I had begun talking about how it seemed there was a bad spirit attached to her. We decided it was best not to let her move back in. After that, a lot of positive things started happening in the home. We were using sage and rituals to clean out the bad stuff. Things were fine. Later at night, on one of these days, it was very quiet in my bedroom, and I was in total darkness. I remember researching how to unlock my third eye for a while, and I had noticed that there were some good spirits that had come out to play. But everything was deafeningly quiet and still. I stared up at the ceiling and noticed something swirling. Then it took on a human shape, a feminine figure. I must say, a very nice female figure, alive with a gold flame looking aura and gold threads or something, and I felt kind of warm, like we were being pulled together. What followed was something I never expected. I felt like something was trying to push my clothes.
Really,
Oh
nigga?
my fucking god, why? Oh my god, like why? Okay. Tingling sensations ensued, followed by a burning sensation. That was very hot but did not hurt. I don't want to describe this too much because I don't want to get banned, but since I had no sex life for a while up to that point, I kind of let it unfold. I would probably be wrong if I said what I felt was exactly like having sex. It felt ethereal yet physical at the same time, and I was scared at first, but I kept hearing in the gentlest voice, "Relax, I won't hurt you." Oh my god. Okay. Shit, I lost track. Okay. It was intense and long. I don't remember how long it lasted, but my fear kind of evaporated because it went from intense but then gentle. Sometimes afterward, I asked her name and she told me it was Olivia. I kind of just internalized it the next day, and at work I found myself smiling and happy. And a lot of my normal day stress was minimal because I just felt so good. I was just trying to understand what was happening. And a few days later, she showed up laying on my bed. We had a conversation. I don't remember all the details of, and this time it was daytime. I remember it happening again fairly quickly. Pretty soon it became a regular occurrence, and I kept it a guarded secret from everyone. I remember every time I spoke to her, it was very sweet, and she was never cruel. I have had experiences with Olivia for many years now, and there have been times where she was absent because of difficulties. I've had or living situations that did not work out, but recently the same type of amazing experience that happened all those years ago happened again, and I found myself kind of much more in armored with her than before. I don't expect everyone to have experience with these kinds of things, but I have come to be very familiar with it, even though I've had to take a hiatus due to mental and sexual health problems. She even told me to take some time to take care of myself instead of trying to prioritize spending time with her. Oh, well, that's nice. That's nice. Oh, okay. I am now 27 years old and I still don't have a real flesh and blood girlfriend. I had a pretty horrible experience with a girl in high school that hurt me deeply, that damaged my ability to have trust with others, but I have formed a great deal of trust when I find the time to communicate with her, and she's a very good listener. There was way more to my relationship than just the sexual elements. Okay. Okay. That's really nice. That's cool. That's cool. That's very cool. She's taken walks with me, watched me do things like read a book or watch TV, and made comments on stuff she knows before me. Had really long and detailed conversation on all sorts of topics, and wow, talk about a smart girl and open-minded too. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm liking this story. I'm like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I love this story. I love this story. Oh yeah, okay. And she's even been like an actual girlfriend or wife, telling me when something I'm doing is not good for me. Ask me to brush my teeth, or if I've eaten breakfast that morning. The list goes on. I'm not here on this side to grab attention or waste anyone's time with fiction. There have been times where I denied it myself and tried to shut it all away, but really, it's nice having a companion or a guide of some sort in the absence of people, because I had been a shut in for so long until recently when I started going to social events. I figure there is a reason this is happening in the first place, and I'm hoping I can learn something valuable from all this in spite of the occasional downturns. I guess what I'm trying to say is, even though we've had our share of issues, I just can't see her as evil, but I am far from an expert. I like to hear some feedback if that's okay. Well, alright. That's what's a pretty good story, actually. Oh my gosh. Like, I always knew that demons were good, guys. You know, I mean, I've been know that they've been good, guys. Well, they're not good or evil. They're just there just because. Like, wow. That's a really good story. How he made a good companion. You know, like, wow. Like, I'm telling you, you know, demons can sense that when you're hurting and when you need who you need to talk to, you know. I like this story. Yeah, not demons are not evil. Okay, they're not good or bad, but I like this. I am baffled. Oh, I am good. I am good. It's really good to see that demons are not these evil creatures that you see in movies and TV shows. I mean, oh, those shows and TVs, they are a big influence of misconceptions about what demons are. You know, like, they don't need souls, okay? I will keep saying this. They don't eat souls. They don't need nobody's souls, okay? That is just a myth. That is just lies. That's just rumors that Christians made up. Like, if somebody says, oh, I'm gonna sell my soul to the devil to fame and fortune, that is not true. The devil does not want souls. No demons do. They don't want any souls, okay? They just want you to liberate yourself and have freedom and grow and be open-minded, you know, fight inner peace. And they could be there like a family member, you know? They treat you as family. They treat you like family, you know? And that's so good. Like, yeah. And people always be like, oh, you worship demons now? You're going to hell. You shouldn't worship demons. They're evil creatures. They're deceiving you. They're leading you into a trap, and not actually your guardian spirits or your ancestors or spirit guys. They're evil. They're deceivers. Like, don't believe those type of people. They just completely ignorant if they say that. Don't listen to those type of people. Do your own research. Ask a lot of questions. Follow witches who are on the left-hand path. Like, just don't listen to those people who assume that demons are the bad guys and trying to, like, deceive you or whatnot. Like, don't believe those type of people. They have no reason to deceive you. They have no reason to. Like, why? Like, unless it's a trickster spirit. Although everything else, they got nothing but love for you. They love you, okay? Like, I used to believe that demons were evil, but they're not. I did my research. I asked questions. I follow witches. And they were not true what people claim to be. Like, don't believe those type of people when they say demons are evil, demons eat our souls, they're gonna drag you to hell or torture you. I'm like, no, motherfucker, just don't listen to those type of people. They don't know what they're talking about. They're scared. That's all they are. That's what they're feeling. They're scared. I used to be a Christian, or whatever I was. I broke out of that. And now, every time I would like go to, when I was a kid, way before, I used to go to church, you know, and every time I would go to church, I would always like think about demons and feel their presence in church, especially churches like this that have like angels pictures or whatever on the windows as windows. Yeah, every time, especially if it's a big church, I will always think about demons. If I see it, I think about demons. If I see this type of picture in a big ass church, I will always think about demons. That's my first thought. That's a sign that I'm meant to be on the left-hand path and find the light in the darkness. Because stars can't shine without darkness. Yeah, okay. I just want to say that. I will always think about demons. Every time I see a church like this. Anyway, let's just move on. I'm babbling on. What? Mumbling on. Okay, so the next story we're going to be reading is My Sexual Demon. It has 2 parts, and let's see what this is about. Let's dive on in. First, let me start by saying that in almost every case I read about demons sexually attacking humans, it is either when they are asleep or semi-conscious. Well, that is not my case at all. Alright, and that's probably another good story. I moved into a modern home on a farm not far from the city and almost immediately felt that there was a presence in the home. Example, door knocking, but no one there, but my dogs barking wild at nothing, nothing I could see. My name being called out, but no one did. I felt maybe this could a normal haunting home and ignored it. Then one day I was lying semi-naked on my bed after a shower and started feeling a vibration sensation crawling up my left leg. I brushed it aside as nerve twitching. A few minutes later I felt my genitals being played with. This is in the afternoon and I'm wide awake. I quickly got off my bed and told my wife. She replied, "Are you trying to make me jealous?" laughingly. The next day, I was sitting on my couch watching TV when I felt something tickling my neck, but with pins and needles. I thought I must have nerve damage somewhere, but seconds later it started touching my genitals again, but this time it was more tense. I lay back and just stared at my genitals being stroked under my pants. It felt like the best feeling I have ever had. Then I pulled my pants down, sat back, and something was either riding me or giving oral until I climbed so much I didn't know a human could hold so much. I didn't tell my wife and felt guilty. Also, there was a unique smell around my genital area that I have never smelled before. Anyway, this became routine out in the sun, in the shed, anywhere. It was on demand. It understood English because at times I would say stop, not now, and it obeyed. Many times I would ask it if to speak or manifest, but nothing until one day I was watching TV when all of a sudden, sitting in a chair not far from me, I saw the most beautiful female in the universe. I'll continue my story because I ran out of space. Okay. Bro, he had a wife though. Come on, that's just messed up. Okay, part 2. After seeing this female being sitting in the chair, I froze, but I saw enough to describe her. Black, long, silky hair, big blue eyes, bat-like wings, black netted rib cage, normal human breast, black arms and hands, and horse-like feet, and a long skirt green in color. I saw her for about 10 seconds. Then she disappeared. I felt special. Don't know why. Anyway, this started getting out of hand. Oh no. I would be visiting relatives and she starts filling me up or shopping or driving my car. I started thinking, how is she traveling with me everywhere and waking me during the night just to have sex, and I mean real sex, no different to feeling a real woman. Ever since starting to have sex with this thing, I kept away from my wife and felt I didn't need to be married, and other thoughts about divorcing my wife of 10 years. I used to pray every day, but when I tried to start praying again, I would feel sharp pain in my neck. It would stop when I stopped praying. I started worrying, and one night I cuddled up to my wife and had sex and went to sleep. A few hours later, all hell broke loose. Door knocking, lights off and on. Lights on and off and on. Drum sounds, banging noises, screaming noise. My voice was terrified, and I knew it was my fault for accepting this demon. The next day, I rang my uncle, who knows plenty about these things, and told him everything. He said that the demon was in love with me, and if I don't get rid of it, she will harm my wife. I panicked and went to see him. He gave him these certain names to recite to remove the demon from my body. I said, "Well, from my body?" He said, "Yes, that's how she gets around with you." Anyway, I recited these names over and over, and I felt hard vibrations going down my leg until a type of shockwave explosion next to my leg. I saw a 2-foot-high monkey-looking thing in a bubble fleeing fast out the glass door. I rang my uncle. He said she left and for her not to return. He made me an amulet and said I must wear silver rings on all my fingers and toes for 30 days. It's been 6 months now and all is quiet. I'm praying regularly again and still feel the guilt of sin. Thank you for reading, and if anyone has been through this, I would gladly pass on the names to recite to vanish demons. Okay, so that was not really a good story. Okay, that was... wow. Oof. I'm glad he got rid of that demon. Like, oh my gosh. That story reminded me of this movie I once saw. It's called Siren. It's about, spoilers, it's about a group of guys, going somewhere, going to a party before this white guy gets married. And he goes somewhere and he sees a woman who was trapped in some type of, I don't know what it's called, but she was trapped and he thought she was a sex slave. He released her, but she was actually a succubus named Lilith, and she liked him, and no matter how hard he tried, he was trying to escape her and have to save his friend, doing this, that, and the third all at once. There's so much to think about, so much to do, all the shit going on. At the end of the movie, she came back. She attacked his wife, and he had no choice but to go with her. So she wouldn't kill his wife. So okay, so that's messed up. That's giving me that type of vibes. At least in this ending, he got rid of her. Oh man, that's a red flag. That's a big ass red flag. You're already in a relationship or married, and a succubus or an incubus comes in and start doing all that type of bullshit. That's a red flag. That's a big ass red flag, and you gotta get rid of it. Oh my gosh. Alright, moving on. Okay, so sadly this is the last one, and it is called My Husband and the Ghost. Alright, let's get right to it. I am not sure how to explain this experience or what do to about it at all. But I really need help in stopping whatever is happening from destroying my marriage. I have gone over this story a couple of times and tried my best to remove anything that was too graphic because I want to be taken seriously. I am 34 years old and married 12 years to a wonderful man. We have a beautiful daughter of 11 that we both love to spoil terribly. We are not religious, and before all of this, I would never believe a story like this one. I am trying to figure out how to tell this tale without sounding like someone that should be committed. We recently purchased our dream home in a more rural area of our state and have been setting in fairly well until the last 3 weeks or so. Things started with just noticing little movements in the corner of my eye in our bedroom at night. Shadows what would move when there was nothing to cause the movement. They seemed centered around the corner of our room by the walk-in closet. At first, I just put it off to being a new home and not being used to the way lights move when a car drives by outside, but since noticing the shadows, more things have been happening. I started to notice that the closet door was always open when I looked at it. I was sure I closed it, but then next time I walked into the room, it would be open. My husband thought I was just imagining it or that my daughter was playing a trick on me. We tested it together once by closing the door and leaving the room to check on our daughter. When we both returned, the door was partly open. My husband joked we must have bought a house on an Indian burial ground. I tried to laugh and accept it as a quirk of the house, but recently things have started to happen in our bed at night. Okay, so you're telling me that you had a house on an Indian burial ground. Okay, that's their land. I think that's a sign that you should leave. Get the GTFO. I have been waking up at night feeling the bed shift. For a while, I put it off to my husband rolling over and ignored it. Last week, I was again awakened by a movement of the bed. It was almost rhythmic. At first, I thought it was my husband rolling over, but I felt it again when I was awake. My husband was asleep next to me, not moving, but I noticed his breathing was a bit fast, and I wondered if maybe he was having a dream. It was a warm night, and we had just been using sheets to stay cool, and I was about to lay down when I felt a shift of my weight again. This time I was looking at my husband, and he had definitely not shifted, but he did let out a low groan like you would in a dream if something was bothering you. I looked around the bed for a source of the movement and noticed that the sheet shift at my husband's waist. His waist were both under his pillow, since he likes to sleep that way on his back, hands under his head. I could see movement under the sheets at his groin and thought for a moment he was having a nice dream, but then they moved again, and it wasn't a movement that a dream could cause. I gently moved the sheets aside to see my husband's boxers pulled down and him in an erect state. I am not sure how to tell this and try to keep things from sounding like a bad rated R movie, but as I watched him, things moved in ways they should not be able to on their own. Skin was moving like it was being touched, and he was breathing heavy. I was scared, not understanding what was going on. I thought maybe I was dreaming or going wild. I said his name a few times, but he did not respond. I shook him, and finally his eyes opened and looked at me, but then he moaned. I shook him harder, and then everything stopped. He was awake, looking at me and confused. I told him everything that had happened, and he told me that maybe he had a dream. but he swears he had felt something down there. He said it was a gentle, almost electric feeling of pinpricks and feather touches that felt very sexually intense. I was at loss for words. I didn't know what to think or do. I was suddenly intensely jealous. He was still in a state and said he could feel it faintly and almost wished that I had not woken him up. I just looked at him a moment, not believing what he just said. Then I angrily got out of bed and went and slept on the couch. Ooh, that's not good. In the morning, I went into our bedroom to talk to him and found him sleeping naked with all of our sheets, his boxers, and t-shirt thrown to the floor. The bed looked like it does after one of our own energetic romps, and I could smell his lingering scent still in the air that told me something had brought him to climax. I stormed out of the room and went to get my daughter her breakfast, and when he got up he looked sheepish and guilty. We didn't say 3 words to each other, and he quietly got ready for work and left me with my daughter in a whirlwind of emotions. I went into angry cleaning mode and changed the bedding that still smelled of him, and then started cleaning the rest of the house while my daughter played on her PlayStation. Oh, that's good, yo, that's good. She asked if we were fighting, and I admitted to her I was a little mad at Daddy. She asked if it was because of all the noise he made last night, and I looked at her confused and asked her what noise. She said Daddy was moaning all night and she wondered if maybe he was sick. I told her not to worry, and I had made her lunch and talked to her about how her schoolwork would work this year with distance learning. When my husband got home, I asked him what had happened, and he looked at me shaking his head and said he really didn't know. He said after I left the room, he felt like a flood of static pinpricks, as you would feel when your arm falls asleep. Oh yeah, okay. That's what that's called. It slowly crept up his legs. He said it felt good, but it frightened him a little too. When the feeling reached his hips and his privates, all the feelings returned even stronger than before. He said he remembered not being able to resist the feelings as they were far beyond anything he had ever felt with me. He said they went on and on for quite a while, and he eventually passed out and fell asleep. He told me he was sorry and he loved me and he didn't want it to happen, and he was frightened by now how seductive the feelings were and that he couldn't resist responding to them. I could see he was really upset and scared, so I just held him and told him everything was going to be alright. Nervously, we went to bed that night. At a little after 2 a.m., I awoke to the bed moving again and a moan from my husband. Whatever it is, it was attacking him again. I could see his state, and I hugged him and told him it would be okay. I looked around the room, told whatever it was to go away. I pulled back the sheets, and again his boxes were down, and he was being molested. He awoke and looked at me scared, and I told it again to stop, to go find someone else. My husband looked me in the eyes and gasped that he was sorry and climaxed it. I had never seen anything like it. I was so scared and jealous. After that, everything stopped again, and we just held each other, and he kept telling me he was sorry, and I kept saying it wasn't his fault. This has been happening almost every night now, and I am exhausted from lack of sleep. My husband is feeling horrible about it, but he says it's not a feeling he can't fight since it starts when he is sleeping. I do not know what to do, but I am jealous and hurt, and I don't know what is doing this to him. I am afraid something is taking my husband from me, and I am afraid something, and I can't fight back and can't fight it. Oh my gosh. I know this all sounds crazy, and I must be insane, but I saw this site and read the stories here, and they all sound similar to what we are experiencing. What can I do? I am at wit's end. How can this all be real? Okay, that was the end of the story, and this is the last one. And wow, that was a lot. Was it scary? Were you scared? That was just wild. That was just wild. And the first story that I read, I believe, I like that story. I like that story. I like that how that demon helped the guy, get out of his shell and explore the world and being more social. That was a good story. But the other three, not so good. That's just wild, bro. That's just wild. Anyways, I'm gonna get off, and by the time I upload this, Halloween will be already over. So hope you had a good Halloween. I hope you ate a lot of candy, but not too much, to a point you won't get a stomach ache and feel all bad and gooey. I hope you stay safe. I hope you washed your hands, wore a mask, and all that. Had a good time. And social distance as well. COVID is still going around. So I probably will start making more videos of this, regardless if it's Halloween or not. Like, I would just talk about scary stuff all day, no matter what, even on Christmas. And I'll be talking about Christmas horror stories and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I just love horror. Been there, done that, So anyways, what was I about to say? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you wasn't too scared and all that. I should start saying this more in all of my videos, because I'm not saying that to be edgy, okay? Hail Satan, hail thyself, praise Lucifer, etc. I should be saying that in all of my videos. I'm not saying that to be edgy. Like, I'm dead serious. I'm serious. Okay? Hail Lucifer, hail Satan, hail thyself, hail demons. Good luck.